2028 NBA draft is very far away, but it could be another really, really strong class, and we're going to talk about it. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. There's been a ton of noise with this draft class because of reclasses and EYBL and AAU stuff happening, and I've been doing a lot of film watching, scouting, early scouting, of course, on this class, and just wanted to talk about my thoughts on the top of the 2028 draft, or at least how it's looking currently. Of course, so much is going to change, but for the moment, this class is looking really strong to me, with maybe not the top level talent of a 2026, but potentially a tier below that, and some other really quality players too, and of course, because it's so far away, a lot up in the air. But let me know what you think about this kind of content. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all so much for all the support this draft cycle. We're gonna keep it going. But my number one pick in the 2028 draft, and I think the top tier is comprised of two players, Nikola Kusturica and Joachim Boumtje. Boumtje, both were phenomenal in the U17 World Cup, and I think I slightly prefer Kusturica, 6'8" wing, who was just a dominant force in that tournament for a Serbian team that's like solid, but nothing crazy. And if we look at just the overall national numbers, 24.6 points, pretty efficient at the basket, getting threes up, getting to the lines, good ATO, getting a bunch of stocks, like just a really impressive basketball player. And his special stuff is clearly the ball handling at his size. It is very impressive to see a 6'8", 6'9" guy string together moves, crossovers, spins behind the back the way that he does. He's also just such a great mover. He's explosive horizontally, a bursty player who's really good at like slowing down, changing speeds, and using his body to get to the basket and score. Just a super physical, aggressive driver, and he's a really phenomenal playmaker too. He's a quick, connective player off the ball, and that's another thing I love about Kusturica. Obviously, the high-end sell, I should say he's going to UCLA. The high-end sell with him definitely stems from the ball handling and the creation on the ball on the wing, alongside which his phenomenal defense. Incredibly good off-ball defender, especially helper at the basket. His instincts, his length, his reach are awesome. Like his ability to rotate down, contest into traffic. He's not the best vertical athlete in the world, and he needs to get a lot stronger, but his motor is also so good. And I think the ancillary stuff with him, he's a great off-ball player. Serbia loves to run him off stagger screens and have him cut to the basket from the baseline. He just seemed to have a really natural off-ball feel for the game, knowing where to move, knowing where to cut, knowing where to feint, knowing all of that stuff, while of course being this all-encompassing creator on the ball, and was pretty good in the ANGT stuff I've seen as well with Barcelona. It's such an interesting thing with not only Kusturica, but also Boumtje, who was also really good for USA in that FIBA tournament, played for Barcelona on the U18 ANGT. But him, Boumtje, and my third overall player at the moment, Marcus Spears Jr., are all going to college basketball next year, but are not going to be eligible until 2028. So we're going to get 2 years of college development from like elite blue chip level prospects, which honestly I'm really excited about. And I think Kusturica is going to step in day one at UCLA and be a star. He's just too good. His exceptional downhill game, I think he's wired the right way. Like I said, crazy high motor, super physical player, really quick decision maker. Like, doesn't have a lot of huge weaknesses. He's not an incredible shooter, and he has a very weird like knuckleball jumper that leads to a lot of pretty bad misses, and he definitely needs to tighten his handle. I think he is an exceptional like ball handling prospect, but definitely like could use some just tightening and playing a little bit lower. A lot of stuff that I think is fixable. Kusturica is so awesome, but I think Boumtje is right there as well. He is 6'11" and was also incredibly good in that tournament, incredibly good in AGT for Barcelona, 16.1 points per game, really efficient, above 60 true shooting, high usage, stocks, solid assist to turnover, and again, he's center size and plays on the perimeter. He is like a pick and roll ball handler initiator, and he was a crazy good, efficient pick and roll ball handler as well for Barcelona this year. Like some of his passing delivers, like he'll wrap passes in the tight windows at 6'11", like crazy impressive flashes. He's also a nice shooter. He can pull off the dribble, he can pull off the catch a little bit, and defensively he's so impactful too. He's so good contesting at the rim. He's not like the best athlete in the world. I do think Kusturica is definitely a superior athlete to Boumtje. Like he is so fluid and mobile and just has so much size that I don't think he really so much. Like Boumtje can also do the thing where he's like rotating down and covering the rim. His vertical pop in tight spaces isn't amazing, but he has so much size and length. He's great on the glass, and he can do like big man stuff as well. Like he's a great strength creator too. He'll set screens and like dribble handoff as well. I don't think he's a great on-ball defender on the perimeter, and he's not like a super wiggly, like shifty driver. It's a lot of like straight line downhill stuff. Also not the best handler in the world, but definitely is functional for what he is. But I think his ceiling, like his special stuff, is maybe not as special as Kusturica's driving and some of the defensive playmaking, but his pick and roll passing honestly might be if we see more volume. And of course, he's going to be at Duke, which is going to be a loaded team. I'm sure he's going to get a ton of opportunities to create and do stuff on the perimeter. I trust Jon Scheyer a lot with his offenses, so I think Kusturica and Boumtje are the clear tier 1 for this draft. And then I think after that, there is a very big tier of a lot of potential players. And I'm going to talk about Marcus Spears Jr. next, but I want to quickly mention two 2028 high school players, AJ Williams and Jan Kamagate, who both are old enough, and there's been some buzz about them reclassing into the 2027 high school class, which would make them eligible, or potentially to be eligible for the 2028 NBA draft. And both of these guys would be either in that top tier, especially Kamagate is unbelievable. I have clips of all these guys playing in the background, but he is gigantic, is a gazelle moving in the open court, can like take it full court with the basketball, incredible shot blocker, like the way he covers ground, he's so long and explosive, like such a crazy athlete with so much potential on the defensive end to like play as a switching player and to drop and to protect and to get deflections on the perimeter. Like he has a lot to clean up. He is pretty raw as like a helper, and his awareness isn't great at times, and like he definitely isn't the most polished offensive player, but some of the driving flashes are crazy. And AJ Williams is just like a very like solid, well-rounded wing. I feel like I haven't seen like the special with him like I have with Kamagate, but a long athletic wing who's like a really good defensive player, really good on the glass. I like that he does a lot of these little things, is a pretty good shot maker, like good first step from a standstill. He's really explosive, like a great athlete, really strong for his size and his build as well. He's sturdy defending the post at times, like has a functional handle. Again, not sure what his special thing is, but like can really hit shots off the dribble, like really active on defense, great lateral mover. He's just like nothing crazy as an advantage creator, and like the high level feel I'm not sure is there, but like really good two-way wing prospect. But don't know about them. But we do know about is Marcus Spears Jr., who's going to Texas, and I think is probably going to play a much lesser role than Kusturica and Boumtje at UCLA and Duke, just because Texas is loaded, and I don't think he needs to. But Spears was very good in EYBL when he played as usual, and unlike Boumtje and Kusturica, who I've gotten hip to more recently, I've been watching Spears for quite a while now, and he's definitely grown on me. I'm still not so crazy about his skill. Like, he isn't a great shooter. He's willing to take threes and was efficient on pretty low volume this summer, all things considered, which is nice to see, but obviously nothing crazy. He only made 10 of 19 threes, but he can't really dribble, doesn't really shoot, isn't a super diverse on-ball scorer, but really is one of the better high school perimeter defenders I've seen. Like crazy ground coverage. I think he has the potential to be like an elite roamer, the likes of like an Asar Thompson or Herb Jones or someone like that. Just defending away from the ball, creating chaos, incredible weak side rim protector. Also a great passer too. The ball skills definitely hold him back, but he makes quick decisions with the basketball. Like he can hit some pick and roll stuff. Great offensive rebounder. Just a lot of little things that I really like, and he does kind of remind me of like a bigger Ron Holland, who's definitely a player that, I have some faith in. Just does a lot of things well, and I like that he's going to have the chance to develop for a year at Texas. Going to probably be able to come off the bench, not have a ton of pressure on him, but just another guy with a really high motor, high feel, great tools, and even though the shot needs to come around for him to be like a 3-and-D plus type player, which to me is probably his projection, I think he has the potential to be like an all-defense level wing who is a really high-level connector too, and that could be a crazy valuable player. There's one more international guy that I think is firmly in this tier, and that is Nathan Soliman, who, another prospect who's been around for a while, has been a really good prospect for a long time in ANGT me in youth tournaments, a 6'7", but I think he could honestly be bigger. Really young, athletic forward who has always been a standout defensive player in terms of stock rates. 3 steal, 3 block at 14 years old in these 20 games, but was really impressive for France to me in the U17 World Cup. And I think he's improved so much in terms of his skill and his ball handling. Really, really creative, good stuff off the dribble, especially in that USA game where he was hitting some fadeaways, creating advantages with his speed and fluidity. Like, his handle was looking great. His shooting off the dribble was looking more impressive than I had remembered it in the past. So these improvements alongside his always excellent defense, like, not a special like S+ athlete by any means, but he gets off the floor quick. He really tracks the ball well. He's a very skilled defender. He's a skilled rim protector who times his stuff well. Just a very fun, good player who fits this kind of like oversized connector role. But honestly, I could see myself getting higher on him if he continues to create and score off the dribble the way he did this summer. Like, he's a really good, well-rounded player who's just like been around and been impactful from a young age, which of course is something I really value. And I have 2 more players in this second tier of the draft. Both of them are high school players in the class of 2027, my top 2 players. And I already talked about Caden Daughtry. He is unbelievable. Since posting that video on him, he won Peach Jam with, I think he scored like 30 plus in every single game, or every single game but this one CP3 game. Like, this is truly absurd shit. 32.3 points, shooting almost 60% from the floor, almost 63% from 2 as a 5'11" guard. Like, what more do you want from him? And I think he and Beckham Black are kind of a coin flip for me at the top of that class, where it is just undeniable that Black's size is going to be so much more useful. I don't know if he's actually 6'4", but he's definitely like 2, 3, 4 inches taller than Daughtry. And while high school and maybe even college opponents don't have the means to pick on Daughtry on defense, in the NBA they just undoubtedly will. And Beckham, like, I don't think he's nearly as good as Daughtry right now, but he's no slouch by himself. An efficient 21, 22 points, and he really improved as a 3-point shooter this summer. Pretty high volume, 6 a game, 35%, great from the line on a pretty decent free throw rate, around 30-ish%, which is solid for a lead guard, I'd say, who's not like a dynamic, like explosive athlete. He's very fluid and flexible, and his passing has always been his best thing. He's so manipulative. He'll use his eyes and his body language and move the ball to move defenders. He reads so quickly off the ball. He's great against pressure, and like, he does have star movement skills. His handle needs a lot of work. His pickup points are very raw. He loves to just pick up the ball early and force a tough shot, try to stride and like stampede through defenders, and he won't succeed, and needs to refine his handle. But like, his movement patterns, his incredible fluidity, his change of direction, his speed, all of that to me suggests that he could develop into a pretty high level dribble creator, even though he needs to get stronger. I wish he played more physically. There are some things there where like Caden Daughtry at this level just doesn't have these problems, but especially if he's like a dynamic on and off ball shooter, a really, really high level passer with pathways as a like downhill creator, and who's a pretty impactful defensive player as well. It's like really good defensive playmaker, not always playing with the highest motor, but you can kind of get it given his usage. But I think he and Caden Daughtry, like, I can hear a case either way for those two as the best player in this class. Both are stellar. I think in terms of long term, I probably say Beckham at this stage, but man, it is really tough. And like I said, you could probably convince me either way. To me, that is the end of tier 2 for this draft for now, but my tier 3 is obviously much wider again. But one of the first players I considered was Ömer Kutluay, who was unbelievable for Turkey in the World Cup. And just look at his overall international statistics. Like, consistently an impactful scorer, an impactful playmaker who creates a bit of events on defense, great free throw shooter on pretty solid volume. So has like the youth and production intersection that I really like, of course, but he is an incredibly fun guard, incredible handle. He's so shifty, and like, his command of like pace and space is truly special. The way he can string out hedges, he can jail guys, he can split through. He's constantly splitting in the pick and roll. Like, he is so slithery getting through space. He isn't the best athlete in the world. Like, he struggles to overwhelm set defenses with his athleticism. I think he struggled against like Serbia's size to create, but he's so flexible, he's so quick and bursty that he's still able to create advantages and kick out as well. And he's a manipulative passer too. He's an incredibly good pull-up shooter. He definitely needs it to fall, but he'll hit tough shots off the dribble with contests in his face. Like, not a crazy 1v1 separator. And I thought his defense was pretty good as well. He was good on the defensive glass, was able to use his hands a bit, but like, his game against New Zealand is one of the best prospect games I've seen in a minute. Incredible manipulative passing, getting downhill, shooting the basketball. He's someone who, watching more and gaining more confidence, and depending on how he plays this year, I can imagine hopping up a tier. Like, he is so talented, even if not the craziest athlete explosively or physical talent. My other favorite high school player, again, someone who I consider like knocking on the door of that next tier, is Jalen Davis, an inexplicably underrated player. He's still in like the late teens, which to me is so crazy. And maybe it's just because he plays on the Adidas circuit, but the numbers are phenomenal. 23 points, 63 true shooting, 2.6 assists to turnover this summer. He's such a unique guy, and his slow grind elite team runs a weird offense for a high school where most of his half court usage is like off screens, running off movement, all of this stuff where you don't see like the traditional, typical high usage pick and roll stuff. But he's a great shooter. He has like brilliant feel as an off ball processor. His hands for deflections are incredible. Like, he makes good, quick decisions, and he's not a crazy explosive, like above the rim athlete, but he is a very good one in my opinion. And I don't know if he's like the pure on-ball separator to be a true point guard, but as like a combo off guard who can shoot, who's an excellent passer, who could be an elite defensive guard. His hands and the deflections are really special. And like I said, I just trust these high feel skilled players who are productive and impactful in a myriad of ways at a young age, and Davis is that. And the last guy I want to talk about in depth, or one of the last guys actually I want to talk about in depth, is CJ Rosser, who's someone I struggle with. Currently not a particularly good or impactful player on the offensive end, which is definitely something that worries me. Solid scoring volume on very poor efficiency from three especially. Not a great two-point shooter considering he is like 6'8", 6'9", really long. He is a pretty standout defender. Like, he's great laterally. He's a good defensive playmaker from the perimeter, uses his length well in passing lanes, but he really does float on offense. Like, he doesn't have one elite trait, and he likes to shoot tough jumpers, tough contested jumpers. He hasn't been an effective shooter at this point. He's not really a separator. I don't see much high-level playmaking on his tape either. He kind of, to me, is in like the Jabari Smith, Risa Share type mold where, you know, he looks the part, he's long on the wing, he has some real defensive chops, but I just want to see more certainty and more good stuff on offense. And there are some other interesting high school players in the class of 2027 that could be in play for the 2028 draft. At the top, Louis Uvuo is the best like true pure center in the class, at least until Kamagate. If Kamagate enters, like Boomche is more of like a perimeter big, but Uvuo is an unbelievable rim protector. He had like 10 blocks in a game. The block numbers are crazy on this AAU circuit, just doing a ton of good stuff as a rim protector. Very raw offensively, but crazy defender. And Reese Alston, son of Rafer, Skip to my Lou Alston, street ball legend, incredible player who, again, I could see him moving up for me as well. Plays on the Puma circuit, so not as much eyes on him, but man, is he explosive, flexible, fluid. Again, just has star athleticism with his ankle flexion, his flexibility, his body control in midair, his vertical and horizontal explosiveness. He's really skilled. He's a good off dribble shooter, like just an awesome player. And I really do think that this 2028 draft is going to be pretty good at this rate. Once again, like we've said, it's hard to really tell, and it is so far out. I mean, it's July 2026, for God's sakes. Why the hell am I talking about this today? But it is really fun. And, you know, these guys, Aiden Diggs, Navarro Bowman Jr., my God, it makes me feel old. DeMarcus Henry, Isaiah Hill, some more guys who I think have potential to, you know, jump up over the next couple of years. But I'm excited to track this class, especially, like I said, to get 2 years of development in college for Kusturica, Boomche, and Marcus Spears Jr. And I think, like, there's so many good big forward type players and great point guards. Like, this is a class that's narrowed, honestly, kind of like 2026. Like, you know, your Boozer, your Debansa, your Wilson, and then a ton of guards. And in this one, you have your Kusturica, Boomche, Spears, Solomon, and then Beckham Black, Caden Daughtry, Jalen Davis, Bowman, Kutluai. But yeah, this class is awesome. Let me know what you think about this class, how you're feeling going forward. I'm gonna try to do some more like EYBL and high school content as well. So if there's any of that in specific you want to see, make sure to let me know. Thanks so much for listening, and make sure to have a great day, y'all.